On Marquee Tech, you can of course send all of your quotes as PDF documents, but let's face it, it is the 21st century. People expect digital, colorful, interactive online quotes that make their life easier, but also your life easier too. And I'm just going to run through how the quote looks for your customers. But keep in mind on this video, the quotes can be fully customizable. The colors, the layout, the branding can all be changed to match your company. This will just give you an idea of what the system can do. The quote that I'm going to show you on this video is quite wedding heavy, so don't let it put you off if you don't do weddings. Like I said, we'll design the quote for you guys, your brand, your company, and so on. So what we're looking at right now is the dashboard. I'm just going to move myself over here. So this is your customer's dashboard. So it's like their own unique page where they can find their quotes, invoices, and so on. Again, this can be changed, the colors, the layout. We have social media links up here. But what I wanted to show you was how you can use this, as a sales tool. So say, for example, you sent the quotes to a client, they've called you back up, and they say, hey, Tim, I'm looking at my quotes, but I'm not interested in the event hire one. So while you're chatting to them on the phone, you could be like, yep, no worries at all. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to remove that from your dashboard. And there we go. Look, it's updated straight away. So they'll see that happen live in seconds. I'm just going to chuck that guy back in now, because I also want to show you. Got to move myself around a lot. There we go. What I also wanted to show you was the table view. So this is fantastic for repeat customers. So customers that book with you throughout the year. So say I have 10 different events with you, and I'm not notorious at losing PDFs. I lose my quotes, I lose my invoices. I'm always hassling you or your team to send them back. Now I won't need to, because I've got my own unique page, which is interactive. It's got all my live quotes, and the quote name will tell me what the event's for. I didn't should have probably changed the quote name just before. In fact, let me do that right now, just so you can see how it looks. Excuse me, I'm about to get hiccups. Not good for a video. Wedding quote, let's call it wedding quote B. And then let me just jump back into here. There you go, wedding quote B. So this probably be a better example of it was festival. So maybe that's Glastonbury Festival, that's Reading Festival, and I book with you throughout the year. So this is now giving me one place where I can find all of my quotes and invoices, but the status will also tell me whether it's an overdue invoice, a paid invoice, just a quote, and so on. So I would stop hassling your team to send new PDFs, because I can always come to my unique page to find everything that I need. So let's jump into the quote. So all of this can be customized, the colors, the layout, and again, this is quite wedding heavy, but we can change it for you guys. We have a lot of optional sales buttons. So these are, sorry, not sales buttons, optional features. An example of an optional feature is a sales button. What customers can do is actually click on these to follow up. So if they would like a site visit, they can click on that and it sends you an email, and you can organize a site visit, but it is optional, so you can remove them if you don't like them. We have different image galleries. So this is kind of like an Airbnb style. You've got the logo, of course. You can choose whether you would like that. You choose what information you'd like and the layout of this. Here you've got the quote. You can choose if you want VAT, GST included in the price or added on at the end. An absolute game changer is you can upload images to hire items. So when a customer says, what do your chairs look like? What do the tables look like? And it takes a lot of time up. They can now just click. So it makes your life easier, but also your customer's life easier. And you're kind of answering the questions that clients will often have. A good example of that is with a bar. If you hire bars, I'm sure you know a lot of customers will always ask the dimensions. So you can put those dimensions in an image. So like I said, you're answering that question before they've even thought of it. You can also put in optional extras in images too. A lot of our customers will do that. But in fact, we have a slightly more dynamic optional extra feature, which I'm just going to show you now. So I go back into that quote, and I'm just going to chuck in an extra for the client. Okay, now look, it's going to go on the right-hand side. Here we've got the extra, and it follows the customer up and down. So it's prompting them to actually increase the value of each booking by having these upsells there. So it's a subtle way of just getting more from the client. And the aim of the game by like having images, making it interactive, is to keep the client on your quote rather than a competitor's quote. And you do that by having images, allowing them to click on things and so on. We've also got, we can have floor plans on here which go below. We can put T's and C's, which we're going to come back to as well. In fact, I'm just going to chuck in a floor plan so you can see how that looks. We'll chuck in, let's do this one for a TP, because our floor plan tool works for every single tent type. It's not just TPs. Put it onto the quote. Give that a couple seconds. There we go. Okay, so what's cool, you can update a quote in seconds with a client on the phone or on site. You don't have to, of course. If you're dealing with an old school farmer, you probably wouldn't do this. You'd probably just send them a PDF. But let's say you're on the phone to a client and they say, do you know what? We want the gold arch and we want 10 tables, not 8. So no bother. We're going to add the gold arch in. We're going to put in 10 tables instead of 8. Give it a couple seconds. And that's going to update straight away. Got 10 tables in there, and we've got the gold arch. So in doing this, you can be super personal because you can change the quote depending on someone's budget, theme. You can explain the higher items. You can dramatically reduce the sales cycle. So when someone is ready to book, they're usually going to click request to book. That's actually going to send an email to you, and the email is going to take you through to this page. If you want to take on the booking, you can confirm the booking. And now because it's been confirmed, the customer gets sent an email saying they need to sign for your terms and conditions. So straight from the quote, put in their name, click to say they've read it, give it a nice little signature, move myself out of the way. There you go, hit accept. You've got a date stamped, printed, signed, and so on. So if you want to find out more about the quotes and how we can customize them to match your branding, please get in touch.